Three things that can make your life and destiny to be emptied and wasted. Number one, wrong decisions. I repeat, wrong what? Wrong decision. Some people's lives and destinies were wasted because they took what? Wrong decision. And we have an example in the Bible. The husband of Naomi. In the book of Ruth chapter 1. Computer, can you give us Ruth chapter 1 and see what happened from verses 1 to 7? Ruth chapter 1. Let's see. Ruth, not Luke. Ruth. Can we read together? In those days, when the judges ruled, there was what? A famine in the land. And a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and 2 sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech, his wife's name Naomi, and the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephratites. You are too fast now. We have not even finished with change. They were what? Ephratites from Bethlehem, Judah. And they went to Moab and lived there. Now, Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. Go on. They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth. After they had lived there about 10 years, what happened? Both Mahlon and Chilion also what? Died. And Naomi was left without her 2 sons and her husband. Let's look at the last verse 6. When she heard in Moab that the Lord had come to the aid of his people by providing food for them, Naomi and her daughters-in-law prepared to return home from there. Now, what was the reason that made them to leave Bethlehem, Judah? Because of famine. But other people stayed, but they left. And today, a lot of people have taken wrong decision by Japanizing. Wati Japa. And many of them are suffering. They ran to UK, they ran to Canada, they ran to wherever they could run to. They are what? Suffering. Some sold their houses. Some sold their lands. Some sold their vehicle. They resigned from their works. And they Japanized. They became Japarians. That word is not in dictionary. If you Japa, you are a Japarian. And if you Japa, you have Japanized. And now Japanization is reigning. Some are still planning to Japanize. And he said, Japanese is bad. It's a derived word, but you know what we mean. Wrong decision. They went because there was no food. And then the husband died. The 2 sons also got married to the people of the native of those places. And they also died. And then the woman heard that the very reason why they ran away has been reversed. Then she decided to do what? To go back. Too late. You and I didn't run anywhere. We are still here. We survived Buhari. We will survive Agbado. Whether you like it or not, I will survive them. All of us together, we will survive it. Do you know that those that ran away have started coming back? They've started coming back. Because the condition over there is now worst. It's worst. Because of this certificate forgery or no forgery, everything is now worst. Some of our nurses have been told that they are going to resat for the exam. And some of them, they say they are going to scrutinize their paper. And so the paper that were accepted before is no more acceptable. Why? Because of the story that is going on. Some said it's true, some said it's not true. We don't know which one to believe. And even outside, they are also confused. So don't take a wrong decision. Because if you take a wrong decision, you may lose your life. How many of you know that we have a church in Mauritius? I've never told you before. We have a parish in Mauritius. You know it. The parish is under us. We are funding them. They just called me not too long ago that a sister in that church died. And she was one of those that Japanized. They couldn't even fly her dead body back to Nigeria. They buried her there. And when they were burying her, they did it in Zoom. Yes, her family in Nigeria were watching how they buried her. What killed her? They say she just went to bath and she entered her room. No, she went to bath. She was bathing. I don't know how the way they described, because they gave me the report. I've not even told the provincial administrator. She was taking a bath. Then they noticed that she shouted in the bedroom, and there was no woman in the house. There's another man in the house. I don't know how their house is in Mauritius. It's like I don't know. I really don't understand. It's like they are living in one flat like that. So the man felt, I cannot go in to go and check because she's an opposite sex. So she decided to be calling, is it, what do they call them? Is it 119 or 911? I don't know. So he was calling. So when the people came, she was already dead. And they couldn't send her body back home. What a life. Don't take any wrong decision. Seek the face of God. That's what happened to Ruth. That's what happened to, Naomi. She took a wrong decision with her husband and they paid for it dearly. Thank God for God of second chance. Number two, that could make your life and destiny to be wasted and emptied is wrong association. Wrong what? Wrong association. Please, computer, show us 2 Chronicles chapter 18. 2 Chronicles 18, 31 and 32. The book of 2 Chronicles chapter 18, 31 and 32. All right? Now, let's read again. When the chariot commanders saw Jehoshaphat, they thought, what? This is the king of Israel. So they turned to do what? To attack him. But what happened? Jehoshaphat cried out, and the Lord helped him. And God did what? Drew them away from him. Praise the Lord. For when the chariot commander saw that he was not the king of Israel, they stopped pursuing him. Go to chapter 19 and see verse 1. Chapter 19 of the same 2 Chronicles. Chapter 19. Chapter 19. Now, can we read together? When Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, returned safely to his palace in Jerusalem, what happened? The next verse. Jehu the seer, the son of Hanani, went out to meet him and said to the king, should you help the wicked and love those who hate the Lord? Because of this, the wrath of the Lord is upon you. What does that tell you? Wrong association. You know, the kingdom of Israel was divided into two. They have the northern and the southern kingdom. And Judah, I think Judah is the northern kingdom, and then the other part of the tribe was the southern kingdom. And Jehoshaphat was the king of Judah, and Ahab was the king of the southern part. That's the remaining part of Israel. Did you see what God said? Why should you join the